Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we have my November bullet journal plan with me. As some of you may know, this year I've been doing, on again, off again bullet journal spreads. So November, it was time for me to show you guys what I did. And I realized I've never actually done a full autumnal leaf spread. I've done some autumn themed, pumpkin, Halloweeny ones, but I've never done just a fall autumn inspired one. So that's what this month's theme is going to be. I use a range of different pens and colors for this. I'll link everything I used down there in the description. But basically I just used a range of reds, browns and yellows that I'm going to be using for all the leaves, as I'm doing here on my cover page. I just basically drew out a bunch of different types of leaves and kind of kept going from different colors just to make it very colorful and definitely autumnal, since it looks like all the leaves are falling to the ground. I love autumn. It's my favorite season of the year. I feel like it's most people's favorite season of the year. It's just when things start to get cozy and the colors are gorgeous. There's leaves everywhere on the ground and it's just honestly a very, very nice time. So I always get really excited to do autumn themed bullet journal spreads. I used my Crayola Supertips in this mauvey brown to do the title, November there, and I'm using now a Unipin fine liner in 0.5 to just do a little drop shadow on the title. So now going on to my monthly spread. You guys know recently I've been obsessed with using stamps in my bullet journal ever since I got these amazing stamps from Stationery Pal. So I decided, honestly, what's more autumn themed than a scrapbooky typewriter theme going on with the text. So I used these individual letter wooden block stamps to write out November over there at the top, and then I used one of my Arteza Fineliners in 0.4 in this dark brown to actually outline the monthly calendar. And it was something new for me actually to just use a color to make my monthly calendar, but I really enjoy how it looked and I don't know why I don't do it more often. Then I went in with my autumn colors and did a little oval shape on top of each column. This is where I'm going to write the days of the week. And then in all the spare spaces that I had, I drew out some leaves, of course. So the pens that I'm using in this spread, I'm using a range of my Sakura Koi brush pens. I'm using the color red, brown, and woody brown. And then my Crayola Supertips, I'm using a series of those as well in different shades of brown and orangey colors. And then I'm also using my Arteza Fineliners in 0.5 in different shades of brown as well. So here on the side where I normally write my monthly goals and my YouTube planner, I used again the same Arteza Fineliners, but in a more orangey, lighter brown to do this sort of beautiful leafy border, which is where I'm going to be, making all my lists. And I use the same pen to write all the days of the month out. And that was pretty much it for my monthly calendar spread. Next up, you guys know it's my habits and expense trackers. I used my Crayola Supertips to write out my title up there, and also my Sakura brush pens, and just kind of did a bit of a drop shadow box as well to write down the word trackers. And then of course I had to get out my stamps to do my little habits tracker calendars. It's just so easy and so quick to do my habits tracker using these stamps, because it's just so much easier than having to write out all the days of the month like 6 different times. So these stamps are perfect for that. I took some of your guys' advice from the last time I used this in a bullet journal spread, and I actually went in with like a little cotton bud or a piece of tissue paper to wipe out the ink from the 31st day of the stamp, and it actually worked wonders. So thank you to whoever recommended that in my last bullet journal video. Don't know why I didn't think of that. I still had some stamping issues where some of the ink was still showing through, so I just went in with my Archer and Olive paint pen in white to cover those up. Then I went in with my fine liner and just wrote in the habits that I'm going to track for this coming month in each one of the little oval shapes that I made for the titles. For the really dark browns, I used my Archer and Olive pen in white to write over it, just because if I wrote it in black it wouldn't be very visible. And then of course added a bunch of falling leaves surrounding the page. I love all the variety of leaves that you see, not only in color but in shapes and sizes and stuff that you see on the floor when you're just walking outside, and it's so beautiful and so nice. So I definitely wanted to incorporate all of that into these spreads. For my expenses tracker, I did the same sort of title with the drop shadow and the box and the lettering and everything, and as you guys know, I always do the same thing for my expenses tracker. I drew out my little table, but this time using my Arteza 0.4 fine liner in brown. And then I used my Crayola Supertip in a matching color brown to fill out the top row, which is where I'm going to write my description and basically what each column represents. And then filled out all of the empty spaces with some more leaves. And then I went in with my Tombow dual brush pen in light gray to fill in every other row on my table, and this just helps me track the lines a bit better. Yeah, and I think it looks really nice and professional. So after that, it was time for my double spread brain dump. And this is normally the double spread page where I write down all of my lists and where I plan out YouTube videos, where I plan out, events, well, online events now, but where I take notes for everything in my life. And yeah, I always end up using a double spread because there's a lot of lists. I love lists. So I did the same sort of leafy floral border design to then write brain dump inside with my Crayola Supertip in a light brown. And then I drew some leaves, of course, on all the little corners of the page and just kind of turned those into a sort of cute border. Yeah, very simple. You guys know I like to maximize all the space for my brain dump. I don't like to make it way too busy because I need the space for my lists. So yeah, this is how I keep it minimal but still keeping with the theme. And next up, it's time for our weekly spread. And again, I got out my little stamps and I stamped in the monthly calendar over there at the top. I find it really useful nowadays having my monthly calendar on my weekly spreads, just because I can kind of see where in the month I'm situated, since time has kind of become a bit of an illusion this year. So it just helps me stay a little bit more on track. And then I stamped November with my individual letter stamping blocks over there at the top. And I just love how scrapbooky it looks, and it really just fits with the mood of this month's theme. Then I went in with all of my different autumnal colors and did the same sort of oval title background design for each day of the week. And I just love all the different colors. I just think it looks adorable. And then I did the same exact floral leafy border design for my weekly tasks over there on the right. And I had some space left over there on the left, so I actually decided to incorporate a bit of a mood tracker for this week, so I could utilize that space. And also it's always nice to track your mood, especially during these really trying times. My mental health's been very, very sketchy, so I think it's now more than ever, it's very important to track how we're feeling and be mindful of that. So I decided to incorporate that over there. So I made a little chart with different rows for each day, and in each row I'm probably gonna write some sort of code word or a smiley face or something, just to identify what my mood was like for that specific day. Then I went in with my fine liners and wrote out all the days of the week for each day, and wrote out the days of the week. Also using my Archer and Olive white pen for the really dark brown ones. Then, of course, filled in all the empty spaces with some leaves. And this is my favorite part because I just get to doodle leaves endlessly and not have to worry about making them look very pretty or precise. I can just doodle them freely, so... After all those leaves were doodled out, that's pretty much it for this month's bullet journal spreads. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you do recreate any of these spreads, tag me in them on some social medias. I'd love to see them. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a lovely month. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, everyone, and enjoy the crunchy leaves at a reasonable social distance from everyone else. Alright guys, have a lovely day. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!